Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gaming with me, Tony Mo, and welcome to Arena Commander. It is finally upon us. They pushed Arena Commander out this morning at like 5 o'clock a.m. I was about to go to bed at like 2 or 3 a.m. and then I heard the news and we all ended up staying awake for another like 4.5 hours until everything got downloaded, and then they released a patch, and then we were able to play. So here I am today with you guys, well rested, got some good sleep, back to check out Arena Commander and share it with you guys and share my experience that I had last night. I played for about 3 or 4 hours actually, till the wee hours of the morning, completely in love with the environments more than anything. Don't get me wrong, I like shooting stuff. I like the idea of being a good pilot. I plan on being a good pilot and spending a lot of time engaging in combat and practicing and you know, getting flight maneuvers down. But at the end of the day, wait till you see what we get to fly around in. I'd like to also make a reminder about the game being alpha. Very early alpha, so lots of crazy bugs still going to exist regardless of it being some sort of a release. I think a lot of people have already forgotten that. There are many people who complained that it was delayed because they said, hey, just give it to us with bugs. And then I saw the same people on the forums saying, hey, you gave it to us and it's broken. Anyways, you can't please people, but you know what, CIG? You can please me because I'm grinning ear to ear right now. I've been grinning ear to ear from the very moment that I was able to fly out into space. It hasn't stopped. It's a permagrin. You've given me a permanent Chelsea grin, CIG. I hope you're happy. I'm gonna have to walk around like this for the rest of my life. I might as well wear a shirt that explains why I have the Chelsea grin, because people will never understand. They'll be like, oh man, were you born that way, or was it some terrifying accident? What happened? And I'll just be like, oh, you know, it's Star Citizen. What do you know? What we're going to do, though, is you see I climbed inside of the Aurora. I do actually have a 300i. They gave me a 300i to substitute for my Avenger, and then they gave me another Aurora trainer to substitute for my Aurora. So I have 4 ships. Not sure why. I don't know if one of those Auroras was supposed to be there to substitute for my M50 or something weird. Not sure. It doesn't really make any sense. Anyhow, not really concerned because I've discovered that my Aurora is actually my favorite ship to do free flight in. And you'll see why in a second. It's not about actual flight maneuvers and crazy barrel rolls and all this speed. It's more about the atmosphere and the presence that you have when you're sitting inside of an Aurora outside of a dying star. That's what I'm going to show you guys, because this is what has literally almost brought me to tears, because it's just absolutely gorgeous. Now I'm playing this in 720p. I have a 1080p monitor now. You guys know that I've been uploading 1080p, but however, Star Citizen is there's a lot going on. And you can't turn off all these small effects. And you know what, to be honest, I wouldn't want to. It's basically just reminding me that, hey, you have an i7, you have 16 gigs of RAM, and you have a really good motherboard, but we don't care. You need to upgrade your GPU, you damn idiot. And I really do. So that is going to be a future goal of mine, is to get a new GPU for this game. However, though, running in medium on 720p, I'm still getting around 40 frames, and the game is absolutely freaking stunning. So what we're going to do before I even do anything else is fly closer to this burning star, because, my God, is that gorgeous. One of the things about the Aurora, though, which I kind of always had that feeling when you sit inside the cockpit of the Aurora and you have all these like split windows, it feels very 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, if you know what I mean. Like 16 inches of glass, because that's what we need to deal with the pressure down here. Instead, it's like, we were talking about this last night, a bunch of us, 20,000 parsecs into the asteroid field. And it actually just creates this really nice place to be, sitting inside of the Aurora with this sort of big open glass, you know, not really open glass, but you know, glassed in cockpit. It feels very special compared to being in a fighter. You know, I feel like we've all sat inside of fighter craft to some way, but we've never sat inside of a proper spaceship, to put it in some terms. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. First, we're gonna find the simulation boundary, which is right in front of us, and hopefully we don't coast through it. Let's pick up some altitude, roll to the left. Now yesterday, after I flew around and then just got used to a little bit of everything, I spent a good 25 minutes sitting right about here. Actually, a little bit farther away. Let me see if I can get to where I was. A little bit in the asteroid field, staring at that burning star, just floating, just taking everything in. and you'll start to see all of the small effects and details that CFG have already put into the game at such an early state. Particle effects and smoke and dust effects. There's just so much here. It's ridiculous. We're going to go to decouple mode so we can strafe around. And we're going to park it right in what I call beauty view. This is the beauty spot right here. Let's just undecouple, get ourselves in a floating position, and look around the cockpit. And I mean, just look at that. You can zoom in. It actually does like a flare focus or whatever you call that. Something you usually only see in like Hollywood films. It's just, this is a wonderful, wonderful place to be. Yes, I know. Let's just hit the reverse thrusters. And we can sit and we can look around the cockpit, and you can see down to below us and off to the right and up above of us, and it is just absolutely stunning. I mean, that's just it. It's stunning. And the quality that I'm playing it at, you know, is like low and medium, and this kind of is a good example of what I was talking about, that scalability. The game's in alpha, probably has zero optimization going on, yet on a burnt out old 7770R ATI Ghost card, AMD card, I can run the game on medium, 720p, get 40 frames, floating out in this this vast gorgeousness. But this is what I spent most of my time doing yesterday, to be honest, was sitting here thinking, you know, this is all I need. I mean, don't get me wrong, I plan on spending a lot of time actually flying and getting used to the controls and becoming a better pilot, hopefully a very good pilot, because I think that the flight system inside of a space sim, which is something that we really haven't had a chance to experience, at least not at this level, Elite Dangerous and Star Citizen being really the first two games to do these sort of flight sims, is something that takes a very long time to master, and being a good pilot is definitely going to be something that is a very respectable trait inside of the verse, so I'm looking forward to that. But at the same time, the idea of just floating through space, exploring these gorgeous vistas, I mean, I don't even care if there's nothing here. If I can find places like this just hidden out in the verse, man, I'll just like fly up, park my ship next to an asteroid, you know, whatever, hide somewhere, get someplace where I can just relax, go make lunch, come back and eat lunch inside of my spaceship. Because I'm that much of a nerd, and that would just be the greatest thing ever. But I mean, look at all the dust particles. It's just, oh my god, I am just freaking out. Maybe unwarranted nerd freak out here, but I don't think so. I am just super stoked about this all. So we could fly around in the Aurora all day, and I can just stare at things. I did this last night, and I took about 45 screenshots, which I plan on doing something with at some point. Maybe throwing them into a slideshow or something of just epic Arena Commander screenshots. But I think it's time that we go shoot some stuff. So what do you say, guys? Back out of here and go shoot some things. I know everybody's thinking the same thing. Let's go to the hangar. And just for the sake of showing off the 300i, even though I'd much rather fly the Aurora, actually. I just haven't gotten used to the 300i is the big thing. It's a big step up. It's a much quicker ship. And to be comfortable with it in combat is going to take some time. But we'll hop into the 300i and we'll go ahead and we'll do some Vandal Swarm. I'll show you guys a little bit of the combat. And I'll talk a little bit more about my thoughts on the flight system and how I think us as players are going to have to adapt to it. You know, what makes the flight system something that's going to be so difficult to master. Of course, everything is subject to change. The flight system, you know, they can tweak all of these things. Maybe it's not exactly where they want it, but at the end of the day, it's still going to be based around the same elements. Same thing goes with the mouse and keyboard. None of that is perfect right now. The mouse, more specifically, has a lot of like dead zone before your ship is actually affected that I would like to get rid of. All of these things already mentioned to come into a future update. I believe the next update is what they have planned for the modification of like the mouse. You'll be able to tweak all of those different settings. Looking forward to that. I definitely am, because that'll just be able to make the experience a little bit more enjoyable.
Welcome to Roberts Space Industries. Enjoy the ride.
They've done an absolute outstanding job with the sound effects in the game already, though. I'm completely and utterly blown away. We're going to go to Broken Moon and do Vandal Swarm, because I found Broken Moon to be a little bit easier of a map to fly around in. There's a lot of asteroids in Dying Star, and it's really easy to crash in this game. You're going forward like 140 whatever space knots, not sure what it's actually measured in, and all of a sudden you like go to whip to do a bank, and you bank too hard, your ship's just flying sideways through space at 100 miles an hour into an asteroid. Boom. You're dead. Call it a day. Vandal win. End of the game. We never get to play full release. It's all over. It doesn't actually work that way, but you know what I mean. So 300i, very quick ship. One of the things you'll notice too while we're fighting the Vandals is that they are very quick. Very, very quick. And I've also ended up having a lot of head-on collisions with them. not much I can do about it.
Welcome
It's just,
to
you know,
Roberts
my flight
Space
skills aren't there.
Industries.
And
Enjoy
I
the
think
ride.
to some degree in a lot of those
System
situations,
check.
I was actually the suicide bomber, and they were just the one like trying to engage in combat with these two guys here, and I'm just like the scrub who shows up like, hey, what's up, man? I'm gonna take these guys out, and then I crash into them and die. So
Radar contact.
we'll see if we can go ahead and not do that. It's just, you know, I mean, if you see what I mean about the mouse, I have all of this where nothing's happening, and I understand like that's to control my actual weapons because they actually can move on their mounts. And I never got in the 300. All right, well, it looks like we're doing it in the Aurora. Screw it. This does actually have missiles, so I have to admit I'm a huge junkie and advocate for like old school weaponry. I love that stuff. I plan on running my Avenger with like no missile systems at all. If possible, I'd rather just have guns on it. But we can... Oh, a little bit of damage here. Let's go ahead and roll out of this. As you can see though, if I was flying in the 300i right now, I guarantee you I'd be having much more difficult time. I'd be pitching my ship and just snapping around and causing myself to fly in the opposite direction. One of the biggest things about the flight system that you're using inside of a space game is because it's not like a plane and you're not like pushing against the forces of gravity like you would down on Earth, you know, inside of the atmosphere. You can make these insanely quick turns. I mean, you could snap 180. The issue is your ship is going to continue to carry on in that direction until you start to impart you know, thrust on it. It's Newtonian physics. I mean, it's exactly what it is. So in order to actually pull a banking maneuver, you have to understand like your ship's limit before you're essentially just no longer using those rear thrusters to turn, and now you're just flying through space backwards at the same speed you were just going forwards at. So let's go ahead and enable our targeting system. If we hit T, it'll automatically scan for any enemy targets in the area, which is useful, especially when you have no idea where the hell you are in space. This guy's... Let's do a snap around and... Oh, there he goes. Let's use the missile lock system. Oh, we lost him. I'm in the zone, sorry guys. Let's take this guy out.
Flare away.
Whoops, that was an accident. Deploy countermeasures.
Target acquired.
There we go, missile lock. Not sure if we're gonna get a direct hit on him. Oh, it looks like he evaded it. Oh, it's still seeking him. It's on his tail.
Stand by. Scanning.
Okay, target down. We're approaching the simulation boundary, which is not good. Let's get back up into space. We also have a target. Something was hitting us. Gotta love those Gatling lasers.
Target acquired. Enemy down.
Whoa, no!
Scanning.
We made it past him. It's all good. That was intense. Alright, so it looks like Warlord's on his tail. He's going for the kill. Get close enough, we should be able to get some missile lock. I'd like to try and take him out with the guns here, but let's see if we can do that. I have to say, I really recommend flying the Aurora if you have one in your hangar when you do go to play DFM, if it's something you're gonna be doing in the next couple of days or whenever you have a chance, because it's just so much more enjoyable to fly. I mean, you know, at this skill level, I can't really handle the 300 if I'm serious and fly actual proper, you know, formation here. Here I'm actually in control of the ship, and much more enjoyable experience. Not to mention much more successful. Probably took me 3 times as long to engage my
You are approaching simulation boundary.
Alright, I see it. Don't worry about it. Let's go ahead and engage the decouple mode and do a little strafing here to rotate around.
Warning. You are approaching simulation boundary.
Impact.
No, we're not going to impact anything. I got this. Calm down.
Target acquired.
Go missile lock.
Warning.
Boom! Vandal Scavenger down. Rotate around. That was satisfying, to say the least. So, like I was saying earlier, guys, when you know, talking about actually having to fly in space and getting used to that, when you jump into something like 300i, you have a ship that's so much faster, that can rotate so much quicker, and you're moving at such a high speed that it's hard to recover from that over-rotation. And when you're in something like the Aurora, the speeds are much lower, they're much more manageable. I'm actually enjoying flying this a lot more than I ever thought I would. So, you know, at the end of the day, I think the Aurora takes the cake for me out of the ships that I can fly currently. Really excited to fly the Avenger, but I'm having a lot of fun inside of the Aurora here. Let's see if we can't deal with another wave here. Why not? Let's do another wave. Let's take a look around. Not sure if you actually die when you fly through those, but I'm going to avoid them. And let's get back up a little bit higher up. See if we can't match.
Stand by. Scanning.
You can also press H to scan for friendly units, it seems. Which they're both rough. They're a bit damaged, actually. Ooh, he's taken some damage to his core. Also to his left weapon system. There's no Vandals in the area, though. Waiting for the next wave. It's not happening. Let's go meet up with Vixen over there. I guess let's talk about the controls a little bit. We can use the F keys here. F1, 2, 3, and 4 to actually toggle through our different sort of panels over here in our systems. We can look at our weapon statuses. Not sure what any of it means yet. Individual weapon systems. We can look at our two bearing M3A lasers. We can go back to our sort of overall scan of our ship here. I don't know if it bugged, but there are no more Vandals in the area. At least that doesn't seem like there are. Huh. Well, in that case, let's just float around and talk a little bit more. There's a lot that's going to be going on with Star Citizen, obviously, going forward. You know, we have our first portion here. We have Arena Commander. I'm extremely excited to spend an excessive amount of time in this. Learning the flight system, just getting better at flying, messing around the decouple mode, which is sort of the strafing mode. Just trying to understand how to make it all work to become a much more precision pilot. All I can say now is all of that time watching Chris Roberts try and play the game and thinking, wow, he's really bad at it. Completely understand why. There's no way someone like him on the development team has any time to actually spend playing the game. And I gotta say, his flying looked a little bit better than mine probably did today. So I can understand the difficulty from that, but that's also something that excites me, that it isn't this really simplistic flying model, which is what none of us wanted. You know, we never wanted an arcade-style flight model. We all wanted something realistic, or more along the lines of what would be realism. And I think they've definitely delivered that here. It's very early on. Again, things can change, but I think what they have is the perfect, you know, core for the flight system. I'm very, very excited to spend more time with it. That being said, I did say that I would be streaming Arena Commander as soon as I had a chance. There's a good chance that you guys might see a stream today after this video goes live, if possible. If not, I will definitely be streaming this Saturday. I'll have the Twitch stream linked in the description below. I'll probably be streaming earlier in the day, so a lot of the guys in Europe as well can come check out the stream. If for whatever reason you can't run Arena Commander, you can't run whatever it is, or you don't have it, you're willing to check it out, come on over on Saturday. We'll definitely be doing a bunch of Arena Commander, screwing around with the free flight, screwing around with the Aurora, staring at some wonderful dying stars. But till then, guys, I'm going to go hunt down some more Vandal, wherever the hell they may be hiding. I know they're out there. They're just hiding from me and my Aurora. They're afraid of the space roach. I'm going to go hunt them down, and I'll see you guys in the next one.